All right, let's do it.
What are your plans for the summer? I know Keenan had mentioned planning a trip to go throw somewhere.
Yeah, so when I first got drafted, Keenan and I were thinking of doing something obviously around this time. So yeah, we'll be all of us getting together. We actually were all texting last night in a group chat trying to figure out, where exactly we want to be and, in the world and things like that, where we're going to be throwing and working out and, bonding and things like that. And it's not, the plan is to not also just be, the offensive guys, but also have, the defensive guys out there, us working on techniques and things like that together, bonding, enjoying each other and going from there.
What part of the world would be your preference?
Obviously U.S., but I don't know, Florida or Cali somewhere, get good weather. And I'm pretty familiar with both places.
What do you feel like you've accomplished in this offseason program since rookie minicamp on to this point?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing that I accomplished was, one, building a connection with my teammates, and those relationships where they're hanging out, going to Topgolf, playing versus Cole and Brett and them, or also just, hanging out with the rooks and us going to movies or hanging out, going to dinners and things like that. But also, being in here, laughing and joking, being in the locker room, I had from November 18th to April 25th of not been on the team. And so you realize how much you miss it and been in the locker room in those small moments. So making sure we take advantage of that. So I would say that's one of the biggest. And then also just gaining and building more confidence and trust, throughout, the Bears and everybody here, but also, myself within the offense, building that belief, that trust, that confidence and swagger to go out there and play.
You mentioned the word connection, and it's been clear that you've been very intentional about that part of things as a leader of this football team. Why does that mean what it means to you?
Yeah, it means the world, because I've been in situations where we go 7-5, whether it's college. I've been in situations where we go to championship, lose. I've been in situations where I won a championship. I've been in situations where we go to championship and lose. And, the biggest thing every time you hear and listen, I was just watching Matthew Stafford's Super Bowl, and, the sound pieces from that is, they go around and they all say, "I love you, brother. I love you," this and that. Everything's about the bond and trust that you build between each other, because then you go out there and you play with a different level of, kind of your mentality is different. Everything's different when you're out there playing for each other and, not out there playing for yourself. So the connection to be able to build a bond between not just 11 on the field, but the next 11 that comes on the field, which is the defense, and the next 11, and then all the other guys, the 53, and everybody's treated with respect and love and care, but also, pushing each other to beat our best. So, that's where the connection comes from, because you can't build something, pretty special at the end of the year without that bond, love, and trust for, your brothers.
When was it in your journey that you realized that was part of this?
Yeah, I would probably say high school. It was something that, my high school coach really, pushed us, to be a part of and really believe in and trust. And I've taken those with me, the little small things that, pieces that he's given me, and I've tried to implement it in any way possible throughout my years of playing, being around my teammates, working hard, pushing each other. But the togetherness, the trust was the things that stuck out the most in those teams and differences between the teams.
Rome said at rookie camp that being on the same trajectory with you to learn this offense, to learn how to be an NFL player, was something he was really looking forward to. What has that looked like the first month of you guys being here, and where do you leave off now going into training camp? Yeah, we leave off in a pretty good spot. We had, Rome and I, we started building a connection early on because we also knew that there was a possibility for us to be on the same team and, build this thing together. So, building that trust, like I was just speaking about, building that trust and bond from there so that we both can push each other. And, when it's time to laugh and joke, it's time to laugh and joke. But, when we're out there on the field, whether we're in the film room, ITC, on the field, game days, whatever the case may be, it's time to build on that aspect of our connection and relationship. So, it's been a pleasure, a joy. Like I said, 2-3 months ago now, I don't know how many days it's been, but when we got drafted here, that I've seen him work, actually on game day, but to be able to be alongside him now and work together is a pleasure.
Caleb, even in this rudimentary stage of offensive development, have you seen any signs that this offense will be anything more than a work in progress once the bell rings in September? And is there, do you see signs of getting traction early as opposed to just, well, we're still working,
Yeah, whether it's game 1, game 18, game 21, whatever the case may be, there's always a work in progress. That's the reason why, you may win, play really well one week and then the next week you don't play as well. So it's always a work in progress. And the progress, always shows in the work that you had before the season, but also throughout the season. So, there'll definitely be, times where, we feel there's traction. Like right now, we feel great. And that's really all I can speak on, at this point, because I haven't gotten to, week 1 of preseason or week 1, versus Titans and things like that. So, right now, we feel the traction we're enjoying. We also know that right now we're building and bonding and, believing in each other and figuring out what's right, what's wrong. So that when we get to the point of preseason 1 or regular season 1, that, we're ready to go, to our best of our ability.
Caleb, with Rome, a lot of the conversation around Rome is, well, he's got time. There's older receivers here he can learn from. What do you sense from him in terms of ambition?
Yeah. The guy wants to play, who, as a competitor, as a player, been in this position, his position, you have great guys around you. You have all these things around you, tools, great coaches, and great facilities, all these other things. Why would you want to necessarily wait? And things like that. You can grow throughout. You can learn from other people's mistakes. And so, I believe that's been his mindset is, I'm going to play, I'm going to be on the field, but I'm also going to, take in and soak in, all that I can from, the guys like Keenan that's been doing it for 12, 13 years, that old guy, So, it's his pace is smooth, his pace, trying to learn as everything is being smooth, just like Rome is. And, but he also understands that it's time is now. And you got to keep working, got to keep growing through all the growing pains and things like that, the bad days, the good days. And so, I think that's his mindset.
Caleb, how have you gone about developing your relationship with Shane Waldron, and what have you taken away from working with him so far?
Yeah, it's been great. We've been growing together, figuring out what works best for us. Whether it's actually out there on the field and, how we're going to communicate, whether I'm actually on the field, whether I'm on the sideline. I'm always asking questions, trying to grow from, the guy that's going to be calling the plays for me, helping us scheme and, things like that. So, that's one of the most, if not the most important relationship, on the coaching staff and throughout this team, for me, to have is my OC and us being on the same page. Throughout, this process, and growing and learning from that, but also when we get to season, is keep growing and processing, the same way that he does so that we're on the same page. So when it's third down on a big game and, I got to flip the protection, I got to do this and that. We've been through these, these situations, to be able to do that. And we're on the same page so that we can go and, win big ball games.
You talk about the trip with your teammates, but from a football standpoint, what will you personally do or work on over the next couple of weeks? Or are you someone that's like, okay, I'll come back to that? Like, what, from a football standpoint, will you focus on?
Yeah, for a football standpoint, there's always time, when it's work time, when it's rest time, when it's family time, when it's this and that. And you set a plan, you set a routine before it happens so that you're not in the process trying to figure out, what's going to happen. What day am I going to come back to work? What day am I going to start working? What day am I going to do this and that? So you set all that in place. And then you stick to it. That's the biggest thing for off season, from what I've gotten from the older guys is, set a plan, go with it, stick to it and go from there. So, for me, it would be, I'm going over, rewriting my notebook, making it a little bit more, pretty, I would say. It's a little scramble right now just because obviously the days, but I would say for that is finding my work and my rest. And sticking to that. I've set my plan, but sticking to that plan that I've set, with my coaches, with the guys we're going to be working out with my, my people that I'll be working out with, and things like that. And then from there, get ready to build and grow and get back here, in July.
What do you do to get away are you the kind of guy, can you just forget about football for a couple of days? Or?
No, you can't. It's, it's hard to forget about, football for a couple of days. But to take the workload off, having days where, this day you're going to go over this for about an hour and a half. And then from there, the rest of your day, you're just, you feel okay because you did what you said you were going to do. You stuck to the plan, and you're like, okay, I did this. I can go on my, about my day, go through the process of that day, and then the next day, maybe tomorrow's the actual day that you get off and you don't do anything, or maybe it's a workout day, no mental work. So it's just, having that plan, like I said, and sticking to it, and feel confident and belief in your plan, your schedule that you set, and go with it. Because a lot of times the biggest thing for quarterbacks, especially, is confidence and believing in the plan, whether it's actual game day, off season, whatever the case may be. So, yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody.
Have a good summer.
Go Bears.